In a world overrun by monsters, terrifying beasts seeking to devour humans and spread fear, there's only one thing that can stop them, an ancient legendary spear that only one person can control, the beast spear. Our story begins with a boy named Ushio, sitting with his father in the Fujin temple. His father starts talking to him and says, "Listen, son, the Fujin temple we're in is a very ancient one, it's been here for 500 years, and inside it, there's a famous spear that belonged to a yokai hunter, those beings you can't see with the naked eye, but they're all around us." While the father was deeply engrossed in talking, his son Ushio was busy munching away. So his father slapped him and said, "I'm saying something important and you're just eating?" Ushio replied, "Look, old man, I hear the same nonsense from you every day and you never even showed me the spear you're talking about." So his father kicked him and said, "Listen, I'm traveling for a week and I'll be right back. Take good care of the temple while I'm gone. It's a very ancient temple that's been around for 500 years. Ushio replied, all right, sure, your temple is in good hands, old man." His father said, "And don't forget to clean the storage room." "Oh, right, be careful, I put a cake in the fridge. If I come back and find it gone, you're in serious trouble." Ushio said, "Don't worry, old man. Safe travels." A bit later, Ushio went down to clean the storage room like his dad told him. While cleaning, he tripped and fell to the ground, and discovered a secret door inside the storehouse that he hadn't seen before. He kept pulling at the door until it broke open and Ushio fell into the basement. He looked behind him and saw a monster smiling at him, saying, "Welcome." Ushio's heart dropped and he said, "Where the hell did you come from?" The monster said, "I've been here for 500 years. This spear is impaled in my body and it's keeping me from moving. It's called the beast spear. It can kill monsters and wipe out evil." Ushio realized this was the same spear his father told him about, and the thing in front of him was one of the yokai. The monster said, "Come pull this spear out of me." Ushio said, "Okay, but if I take it out, what will you do next?" The monster replied, "Eat you, of course. Then I'll eat the rest of the people in this area." Ushio shoved the spear deeper into it and left up the stairs, saying, "Good luck with that. You want me to free you just so you can eat me?" The monster replied, "Wait, man, I'll do whatever you want," but Ushio shut the basement door and left him there. Later, he went to school, and on the way, he kept thinking about the monster he saw and the spear stuck in it. On the way, he saw his schoolmates Mayuko and Asako. Asako asked him, "Did you bring my notebook that you borrowed?" But as usual, he forgot it, so she told him she'd come get it after school. When they arrived at school and went into class, Ushio kept sitting there distracted by the monster he saw. After that, he went back home and found his classmates coming over to get the notebook they asked for that morning. While he was talking to them, he saw snakes and strange monsters moving around. He told them, "Look out behind you." They looked but didn't see anything. That's when he realized he was the only one who could see them. He ran straight to the basement, went down to the monster, and said, "What did you do to my eyes? I'm seeing weird things now." The monster laughed and said, "You're the one who did this. You triggered the aura around me that's been sealed for 500 years when you came this morning. Once that aura leaks out, it draws in the small yokai monsters. After a while, they'll start to take form and attack humans. And by the way, I can get rid of them for you. If you pull this spear out of me." Ushio agreed and pulled the spear out of the monster. As soon as he did, the monster attacked him and threw him away. Ushio said, "Didn't you make a promise, man?" The monster laughed and said, "Forget it. I'm ending you now." Ushio got angry, then raised the spear, and energy began to gather around him until he turned into a samurai. The monster got scared. It realized Ushio looked just like the samurai who had impaled him with the spear 500 years ago. The monster ran away, and Ushio chased after him, attacking him with the spear until the monster finally said, "Fine, I'll keep the promise we made." The two of them rushed to fight the small yokai who had merged into one giant beast, and in the end, they defeated them. Ushio returned to normal, and the monster said, "All right, I've kept my promise. Goodbye." Ushio raised the spear and said, "Where do you think you're going? Your aura is still here and it's gonna attract more yokai. You're staying here with me until we wipe them all out." Ushio then named him Tora. As they walked together, each of them secretly vowed to take the other out at the first chance they got. The next day, Tora was sitting in front of the TV when he saw a samurai inside it about to attack him, so he smashed the TV into 2 pieces before realizing it wasn't real. Ushio was furious and completely fed up. After that, Ushio went to school with the spear in hand, and Tora followed him to school. Ushio said, "Wasn't it enough that you broke the TV? Now you want to come to school too?" The monster replied, "If it wasn't for that spear in your hand, I would have had you for dinner already. Just wait until the moment you drop it, then you'll see what I'll do to you." Ushio smacked him on the head and said, "Shut up." Then Ushio met Asako and Mayuko and asked them, "Where are you going?" They said, "To the library." He told them, "The library's closed today." They said, "We're going to move some things to the old school building." Then Asako and Mayuko headed to the old school building, which looked abandoned and creepy, until they reached a statue of an ancient knight, and they were all creeped out by it. Asako looked at it and saw its eye glowing, so she got scared, then said maybe she imagined it. They all started moving the books until the statue's eyes started glowing again and an aura formed around it. Meanwhile, Ushio was sitting in class when the spear suddenly started to emit a strange ringing sound, and Ushio felt like the spear was trying to tell him something, until he heard the sound of an explosion nearby. Ushio left class to see what happened and on the way, saw a girl who had turned into stone. He ran quickly to the old building to check on his friends who were there but found nothing, until the police arrived and surrounded the area. Ushio asked Tora if he knew anything about what happened, but Tora said, "I'm not obligated to tell you." Ushio grabbed the spear and transformed into a samurai, so Tora said, Okay, I'll tell you. There's a monster called the Stone Eater. It lives in books and old tools. It drags people into its world, turns them into stone, and eats them. After that, the police kept searching the old building for any clue but didn't find anyone, only to later discover that Asako and Mayuko were trapped inside a barrier, calling out to the police who couldn't see them. Then the Stone Eater appeared and had already turned them into stone. Ushio entered the building quickly with Tora, grabbed the spear and transformed into a samurai, broke the stone barrier, and charged at the monster with his spear. But in the end, the monster managed to grab him and slam him to the ground, and the beast's spear flew away from him, so he turned back into human form. Ushio looked around and saw all his classmates had turned into stone. The monster laughed and said, "You're next." Tora noticed the barrier was closing behind him, so he quickly ran out and said to Ushio, "See you around." Whoever gets caught by the barrier, the Stone Eater finishes him off. Ushio said, "Forget about me. Just save my classmates. Don't worry about me." So Tora decided to help. He rushed in and pulled out all of Ushio's friends from the barrier. The Stone Eater attacked Tora, but Tora dodged all its strikes and looked at Ushio, realizing he was almost turned to stone. Ushio said, "Too bad, looks like you're not the one who'll eat me." Tora screamed, "Nobody here gets to eat you except me." He stood at the barrier to stop it from closing, but the Stone Eater attacked and pinned him down. Ushio looked at the spear and said, "I just need one strike and I'll finish this monster." The spear began to shake, then suddenly flew toward Ushio, broke the stone on him, and then rushed to the barrier and stopped it from closing. Tora realized that Ushio had learned how to use the spear, then looked at the Stone Eater and said, "Watch what I'm about to do to you." He fired a lightning strike that destroyed the monster and leveled the place. Ushio and Tora got out, but suddenly the monster turned into a giant centipede. Tora said, "Strike its eye quickly with the beast's spear." Ushio grabbed the spear and ran to its eye, killing the monster. And just like that, Ushio defeated his first monster, the Stone Eater. The next day, we see Ushio's father sitting with him again while Ushio was busy eating. His father told him that long ago there was a battle between a samurai and a monster that lasted 5 days, until finally, the samurai managed to pin the monster to a rock using the beast's spear. The monster was sealed in the rock, and people built a temple over it. That samurai became the head of the temple, and that's our family's story, so never, ever open the basement door. Ushio cut him off and said, "I want another bowl." His father grabbed him and said, "I'm telling you never to open the basement and you're saying you're hungry?" Ushio laughed to himself and thought, "Good thing he doesn't know what I did." He left, but his father saw the spear in his hand and said, "Oh no, don't tell me that's the beast's spear in your hand." Ushio, still walking, replied, "Don't worry, this isn't it." Tora looked at him and said, "You're such a liar." His father froze in place, stunned by what he saw. Later, Ushio went to an art museum and kept looking at the paintings. He was really impressed by the works of the artist Hanyu and stood in front of the last piece Hanyu painted before he died, a painting of his daughter. Asako said, "I feel like I've seen that girl before at school." Then they all left except Tora, who kept standing in front of the painting saying that the one who painted it died hating humans and probably turned into a monster in the end. After that, Ushio went to school, running up the stairs, when an older student tripped him and then started beating him up. A girl passed by and said, "Leave him alone. Hit me instead, even if it kills me, I don't care." Then we find out that her name is Reiko, and she wants to die so badly that she's tried to take her own life 4 times. Ushio looked at her and realized she was the same girl in the painting he saw earlier at the museum. He was shocked that she was really the daughter of his favorite artist, Hanyu. After school, he followed her and told her, "I'm a big fan of your father's art." She replied, "Yes, my father was a painter, but he's dead now. And don't you dare come near me or you'll die." She left him and walked away. Ushio chased after her, but suddenly a truck came speeding toward him, about to run him over. He quickly drew the beast spear and sliced it in half, only to discover it wasn't a truck, it was a monster trying to kill him. Later, Reiko arrived at her abandoned house and stood in front of her painting, saying, "Enough, Dad. Stop what you're doing. I'll be joining you soon." Then Ushio went to Asako's house to ask her if she knew anything about Reiko. She told him Reiko came to their school in first year. She was always alone and distant, and anyone who tried to get close to her would end up dying in an accident. Then Reiko tried to end her life because she believed she was the reason for the accidents. When Asako tried to get closer to her, Reiko said, "Stay away from me or you'll die too." While they were talking, something fell from the sky toward Asako and almost killed her. Reiko said, "I'm sorry, it's all because of me," and ran away. Asako told Ushio, "Do you still want to meet her after what you heard?" He replied, "I'm not afraid of stories like that," and left. On the way, he ran into the older student who had beaten him up earlier. The guy told him, "You better stay away from Reiko." Ushio said, "It's none of your business." Then they started fighting and both fell to the ground. The guy began telling him about Reiko. He said that one day, he went to her house and saw a terrifying sight, her father's face turning into a demon while he was painting. He got scared and left quickly. A few days later, he heard that her father had died. Then we see the painting in Reiko's house. It's a cursed painting. Her father, the painter, turned into a demon that lives inside this painting. His only goal is to stop anyone from getting close to his daughter Reiko and to keep her all to himself. Then we go back to Ushio, who went to school and saw Reiko standing alone, not talking to anyone. He went to her and said, "Why are you sitting alone? Come hang out with us." She told him, "Stay away from me before you die." But he insisted she come with him. The moment she agreed, a strong wind blew and a demon's hand appeared from her, hitting Ushio in the back and throwing him away. Suddenly, Reiko's demon father appeared and told his daughter, "Don't be afraid, I'll protect you." He looked at Ushio and attacked him to kill him. Quickly, Tora came to the rescue, cut off the demon's hand, and said, "No one gets to eat Ushio except me." Then Tora fired a lightning strike that hit the demon, and the demon fled. Reiko said, "I'm sorry. All this is because of me, and I'll end it myself," and ran toward her house. Ushio followed her and found her standing on the roof, about to jump off to escape her father. She jumped, and Ushio threw the spear to support her, then ran to the window with the student he had fought with before. They managed to catch her just in time. Reiko looked down and saw her father saying, "I'm here. Come to me so we can be together." Ushio looked at her and said, "You won't live alone anymore. There are 2 of us here who'll help you, so it's your choice." Reiko decided to go with them. Her father was shocked by what his daughter did and saw it as betrayal. He grabbed her and pulled her into the painting with him. Ushio followed with the beast spear and tried to stab him, but it was useless. The demon grabbed him and said, "You'll be buried with me in the painting," and pulled him in. But Tora showed up at the right moment, pulled Ushio out, and then jumped into the painting and attacked the demon. Tora looked at Ushio and said, "Stab the painting quickly to kill him." Ushio jumped toward the painting to stab it with the spear, but Reiko stood in front of it and the strike hit her. Ushio was shocked, but Tora said, "That spear doesn't kill humans." Reiko fell, and the demon inside the painting died. Reiko cried for her father. Then they looked at the painting and found that it had returned to color and lit up again. The next day, we see an old man shouting, trying to warn the workers in the area not to move the stone because underneath it are sealed monsters. But none of the workers cared about the old man or what he was saying, and they moved the stone anyway. At that moment, 5 monster heads were released. They had been sealed under the stone and now attacked the workers, destroying the entire place. Then the monster head said, "We must take revenge on the woman who sealed us here. We must get revenge on Hizaki who locked us away." Then we see Ushio in the bathroom, and Tora felt it was his chance to eat Ushio since he probably left the spear outside. But Ushio had the spear with him and smacked Tora on the head with it. When he came out, he found a note from his father on the table saying, "Don't come looking for me again." Ushio remembered what happened with his father yesterday. Then he saw the news on TV about the construction worker deaths. Ushio got angry, grabbed his spear, and told Tora, you're the reason those workers died yesterday. Tora said, I don't know what you're talking about. You're accusing me of something I didn't do. But Ushio attacked him, and Tora fought back. In the end, Tora left, and said while walking, I haven't eaten a human in 500 years. Time to go find someone to eat. But while on his way, a truck came and slammed him into a wall. Tora got angry and burned their cars. As for Ushio, he kept walking and said, I won't let Tora roam the land and threaten people's lives. He reached the site of yesterday's accident and saw the old man explaining to the police what happened. But the officer ignored him and shoved him, causing him to bump into Ushio and drop his book. Ushio looked at the book and saw a girl that seemed familiar. The old man said, her name is Hizaki. She died a long time ago. Ushio felt she looked like Mayuko from school. The old man then said that long ago, there were monster heads that spread fear and death among people. Then Hizaki came and sealed them. Since then, the monsters have vowed to take revenge. The old man's grandfather was there when Hizaki sealed the monsters. She told him to spread the word and make sure no one ever removed the stone so the monsters wouldn't escape again. But now the monsters are free and will do anything to take revenge on Hizaki. Ushio asked the old man, if they saw someone who looked like Hizaki now, what would they do? He said, they'd kill her for sure. Ushio got worried about Mayuko and tried calling her, but she didn't answer. Meanwhile, Tora was walking and saw Mayuko. He decided he would eat her, but suddenly he felt there were other monsters in the area. Then the monster heads appeared and attacked Mayuko, thinking she was Hizaki. But suddenly, Ushio appeared with the beast spear and told her to run. Then he attacked one of them, but the others managed to grab him and throw him onto a car windshield. They chased after Mayuko, thinking she was Hizaki. She kept running, not understanding what was happening, until they caught up to her and she fell from a window. They were about to eat her, but Tora saved her at the last second and said to the monsters, how dare you go after my meal? This girl is mine. The monsters told him, give us Hizaki, or we'll eat you with her. One of them attacked Tora, but Tora killed him with one blow. Then another one tied Tora up and told the others, go get Hizaki before she escapes. Tora laughed and said, you guys want revenge on someone who doesn't even exist? Hizaki sealed you ages ago. She's dead now. Then he broke free and killed the monster that tied him up. The other three reached Mayuko and said, finally, we found you, Hizaki. Mayuko felt something was wrong and said, I'm not who you're looking for. But they attacked her. Tora showed up and said, you messed up my food? Then he grabbed them all and fired a lightning bolt, killing them all except one, who escaped and said, I have to kill Hizaki. Ushio arrived just in time and killed him with the beast spear. Then Ushio looked at Tora and apologized for accusing him before. After that, they started arguing again. In the end, Mayuko thanked Tora and gave him a burger as a gift for saving her. The next day, we see a monster hunter named Hayu standing in front of two people. He told them, you killed an innocent child and must be punished. You're monsters disguised as humans. The two people attacked him, but Hayu blocked their strikes and killed the first monster. The second ran, but Hayu caught up and killed him too. Then Hayu said, I've been searching for the monster for 15 years and still haven't found it. He looked at the TV and saw news showing a monster caught on camera. The image was taken in Japan. When Hayu saw Tora, he said, that's the monster I've been searching for. I must go to Japan. Then we see Ushio sleeping and Tora attacking him in his sleep, but Ushio woke up quickly and grabbed the spear. Tora said, just wait, the moment I find you without that spear, I'll finish you off. Then Tora scratched his face and ran away. And we go back to Hayu, who went to the airport. The security officer checking the bags found knives with him, but Hayu used his eyes to enchant the officer and managed to get through. As he walked on the street, he saw two men harassing a child, and the boy was screaming. Hayu attacked them and was about to kill them if Ushio hadn't arrived just in time and said, that's enough, you'll kill them. Hayu looked at Ushio and saw that the monster he was looking for, Tora, was with him. Hayu didn't waste a second and attacked Ushio, shouting, where's the monster? Then he grabbed Ushio's leg and slammed him to the ground, saying, don't lie to me, where's the monster with you? Ushio replied, after what you just did, you still expect me to answer you? Hayu said, I'll make sure you answer me, and raised a knife to him, but the beast spear saved Ushio at the last second. Hayu then apologized and said, there's no way the wielder of the beast spear could be a bad person. Ushio said, I don't understand anything. Who are you, and what do you want? Hayu said, my name is Hayu. I'm a monster hunter, and then pulled out a photo of Tora and asked, can you please tell me where to find this monster? Ushio asked, why do you want him? Hayu replied, that monster ruined my life. 15 years ago, I had a happy family. I had a beautiful little daughter whom I loved deeply. One day, I came home and found no one there. Suddenly, a monster, just like Tora, attacked me after killing my wife and daughter. That day, Hayu decided to train hard so he could take revenge on the monster that destroyed his family. Ushio felt sad hearing what Hayu said, but thought to himself, Tora was trapped in our storehouse for 500 years. How could he attack someone 15 years ago? Something doesn't add up. He was about to tell Hayu it wasn't Tora, but then he remembered Tora attacked him and scratched his face earlier that morning. So he thought, why not let this guy take care of Tora for me? That way I'll be rid of him. Then he said to Hayu, yeah, I know him, go finish him off. Hayu went to Tora's location and shouted, I know you're here. Show yourself. Tora appeared and said, you seem like a strong human. Hayu said, finally, today's the day I take revenge after 15 years. They both charged into a fierce battle, neither able to beat the other. Tora attacked with lightning, but Hayu managed to neutralize it. Meanwhile, Ushio started feeling guilty about what he had done to Tora. Hayu and Tora kept fighting until Tora fell to the ground and Hayu almost had him. Ushio came and stood in front of Hayu and said, Tora didn't kill your family. He's been sealed in our storehouse for 500 years with the beast spear. It was another monster who did it. I was wrong not to tell you from the start. Hayu hit Ushio and said, you mean I came all this way to Japan for nothing? Ushio said, it's not him. Look at my scar, it's from 4 claws. But yours is from 3. Hayu became furious and started hitting Ushio again, shouting, I have to kill this monster. Tora asked Ushio, why are you helping me? Ushio replied, because you helped me before. Hayu charged at Tora, but Ushio stood in front of him and said, what you're doing isn't revenge, it's murder. Then Ushio collapsed. Hayu realized his mistake, apologized to Ushio, and said, I'll leave Tora to you. One day, you'll deal with him. Then he walked away. The next day, we see Ushio spending summer at the beach, happy and having a great time. Tora was also really happy because he felt the ocean was the only thing that hadn't changed in 500 years. Then he got annoyed because Ushio brought the beast spear with him even on vacation. A little boy named Tatsuya came and started throwing sand at Ushio's bags. Ushio grabbed him and asked, why are you doing that? But Tatsuya ran away. Ushio returned to the shop and asked the old man about the boy, and they told him that since his mother died, he started acting strange. Meanwhile, Tora was having the time of his life, running toward the water, until he felt someone watching him. He asked, who are you? The monster replied, are you Nagato Bimaru? Tora said, that was my name 500 years ago. Show yourself now or I'll shock this place to bits. A sea monster appeared and said, I've been living in these waters for a long time, and I wanted to ask you to help defeat a giant monster that's threatening this ocean. It was formed from the souls of people who died at sea, and all it wants is to devour humans and other monsters. I beg you to stop it. Tora agreed and went to see the monster. It was huge. Tora tried attacking it with lightning, but it didn't work. The monster grabbed Tora in its jaws and swallowed him, but the sea monster saved him just in time. Tora told him, go to a human named Ushio. Tell him we need his help. Then we see the boy Tatsuya throwing sand at their bags again. Ushio smacked him lightly on the head and told him to stop. Tatsuya ran off, and Asako chased after him, caught up, and said, don't be upset with Ushio. They got on a boat together, but suddenly, the giant sea monster appeared and swallowed their boat. Meanwhile, Ushio felt someone calling him and was approached by the sea monster who was with Tora. He told him, Tora needs your help, he's trapped inside the sea monster's stomach. Ushio also learned that Asako and the boy were trapped inside too, so he rushed to fight the sea monster. When he saw it, he attacked with the beast spear, but it was useless. So Ushio decided to go inside the monster and defeat it from within. Tora saw Asako and the boy's boat being attacked by sea creatures. He quickly electrocuted them and saved the two. Then he brought them to safety on the boat and asked, do you know Ushio? But they were scared of him. Asako told the boy, you know, Ushio is just like you. His mom died when he was young, and he used to be angry all the time. But then my dad talked to him, and he came back a changed person. Tatsuya asked, what did your dad say to him? She replied, I don't know, but after that, he totally changed. While they were talking, they felt shaking inside the monster. It was trying to push them deeper to eat them. Tora grabbed them and tried to take them up, but the monster kept pulling them down. Tora clung to the ceiling with his hair. Then Ushio arrived, but suddenly, Tora slipped. They were all about to fall until Ushio grabbed onto the beast spear. Tatsuya got scared, and Ushio told him, I was just like you once. Then someone told me, your mom is always with you. After that, I stopped causing trouble. Suddenly, Ushio's hand slipped. He grabbed the cloth of the spear, but it tore. The moment it tore, the spear activated and moved on its own, striking the monster and wounding it. Then Tora and Ushio agreed to work together to defeat the monster once and for all, and they destroyed it in the end. In the end, Ushio was surprised at how much power the spear released when the cloth tore. He put the torn piece back. Then the monster they had met earlier said, "Is your name Ushio Atsuki?" Ushio said, "Yes." The monster said, "Then you're the son of the miserable woman who's still alive." Ushio replied, "Still alive?" Then the monster walked off without any explanation. At that moment, Ushio was shocked. Ever since he was a child, he had believed his mother was dead. He went to ask his father about the truth and said, "I grew up with you telling me that mom was dead, but I found out she's still alive, and I also found out she's hated by the yokai. You have to tell me the truth." His father said, "Hey, look over there, the flowers have bloomed." Ushio said, "Don't change the subject," and his father said, "You've been using that spear constantly." Ushio replied, "I've used it to kill a lot of monsters, and with each time, its power increases more." Then Ushio said again, "Don't change the subject. Where is mom?" His father said, "I'll tell you," but then the phone rang, so he left. Later, Tora came and asked him, "Why do you care so much about this?" Ushio replied, "Humans love their mothers and worry about them." After that, Ushio went to his father again and asked, "Why are you avoiding the answer?" His father said, "Your mother is dead," and then he looked at Ushio and thought to himself, "That's the monster who was in our basement." Then he ran off quickly saying, "I'm busy, take care of the house." Ushio then went to his mother's grave and sat there thinking, why did dad lie and tell me mom was dead? Where is she now? Meanwhile, Ushio's father went to save a mother and her child from yokai trying to kill them, and he managed to defeat the monsters. After that, he made a call and said, "I completed my mission successfully, and I have an important report to deliver to the officials." A bit later, Ushio's father arrived at a gathering of priests and told them, "The beast spear has been pulled." They all got angry and asked, "Who did it?" He said, "My son, Ushio, is the one who pulled it, and the monster with him is named Tora." They were shocked and said, "How can that be? Only 4 people in the world are able to wield the spear, we trained them specifically for that." They got very angry at him, thinking he was plotting something. Then the head priestess told them, "No one speaks," and said to Ushio's father, "You realize your son's life is now in danger because of that spear?" He said, "I know, but let me assess his strength myself and see if he's worthy of wielding the spear. If my son is not worthy of it, I will kill him myself, him and the monster with him." The head priestess said, "I agree." The priests shouted, "How can you say that? He's his son." But she replied, "I'm the head here, and my word stands." She added, "You know pulling the spear means the appearance of Hakumen no Mano. No mistakes can be allowed." Ushio's father said, "Don't worry." After that, the priests were very upset with what the head priestess did and decided to send a group of priests to retrieve the beast spear and eliminate Tora. Then Ushio's father went to his son and said, "Do you realize the weight of the spear in your hand?" Ushio replied, "You have to tell me right now where mom is." His father said, "I'll tell you after dinner." After dinner, his father asked, "What benefit will it bring you to know your mother is alive?" Ushio replied, "I've grown up. I deserve to know the truth." His father gave him an envelope with money. "1,000,000 yen, he said. Ushio got angry and said, "Why are you doing this? Do you think giving me money will make me forget?" Then he shouted, "I'm not joking." His father said, "Neither am I. That money is for traveling so you can go to your mother. You'll go to Hokkaido first, and from there, you'll figure out what to do next." At the same time, the priests began heading toward Ushio's house. Ushio's father changed into battle gear and shouted, "I am Atsuki, priest and monster sealer. Show yourself, Tora." Tora came out and said, "No need to shout, I can hear you just fine." His father said, "I've been ordered to eliminate you right now and seal you." Ushio was confused, asking what was going on. Tora said, "Your father's a hypocrite. He acts like an old man, but he has immense power. I can feel it now." Then the father told Tora, "Let's go outside to fight," and Ushio couldn't believe what was happening. The two began fighting with full force, one attacking and the other blocking. Ushio stood there not knowing what to do while they clashed. He tried stopping them, but was thrown aside. When his father was about to kill Tora, Ushio jumped in with the beast spear just in time and stopped them. His father was stunned to see that his son could control the beast spear so well. Then Tora said to Ushio, "Your father's a real hypocrite. He never intended to kill me." His father replied, "Good, so you figured it out." He added, I know Tora has done very evil things in the past, but now I feel he's not evil anymore, which is why I didn't kill him. While they were talking, the priests arrived. Ushio's father told them, there's no need to kill Tora. His presence helps Ushio control the beast spear. But the priest said, we must eliminate any yokai. One of them attacked Tora, but Ushio's father stopped him and said, I'm sure Ushio knows how to use the spear. The priest said, no child can control the beast spear. We can't let a child be the one to face Hakumen no Mono. We must take him now. They attacked to take him, and the father told Ushio, run quickly and look for your mother. But Ushio grabbed the spear and decided to help his father and not leave him alone. The priests, however, were determined to kill Tora and take the spear. They held down Ushio's father and attacked Ushio, who fainted and dropped the spear. One priest grabbed the spear and said, it must be returned to its rightful keepers. Tora attacked the priest, and Ushio's father retrieved the spear. Then Tora and the father teamed up and attacked the priests. After the fight, Ushio's father asked Tora, why didn't you kill the priests? Tora replied, Ushio told me not to kill anyone. Later, Ushio woke up, and his father said, you have to leave now to find out where your mother is. The next day, Ushio got ready to travel and found that his father had left a comb in his pocket. Ushio and Tora headed together to catch their flight. And aboard one of the planes, the pilots lost control of the aircraft because a monster had taken over their plane, and the aircraft exploded mid-air and crashed. As for Ushio, he arrived at the airport with Tora, who was very amazed by the invention of airplanes. Then they heard someone next to them apologizing to the daughter of the pilot who had died in the plane crash, saying, it's true that my plane was about to crash into your father's aircraft, but believe me, it wasn't my fault. The plane went down because of a monster. The girl yelled and said, you think I'll believe that story? I know you're the one who killed him. Ushio was surprised because they were talking about a monster, so he went and asked Tora, who told him, that monster is probably Fusuma, who lives in the sky. That monster is very powerful. I tried everything against him, but he managed to block it all. His weakness is heavy fire. Then they boarded the plane, and the girl they saw earlier told the man, I don't believe you. I know you're the killer. Ushio went to her and asked, why are you calling him a killer? She said, my name is Yu, and my father, a pilot, died in a plane crash. He asked, you mean the plane that was about to collide with a military helicopter? She said, the man who was flying that helicopter is that guy over there, and he killed my father. I'll never forgive him. A bit later, the man came over while Yu was asleep and told Ushio, by the way, I'm not lying. A monster killed her father. While I was flying my helicopter, I saw a monster wrapping itself around her father's plane. That thing didn't even show up on the radar. While they were flying, the sky turned green, and suddenly the plane started shaking violently. Fusuma had grabbed the aircraft. Everyone panicked, and the plane started to fall. Tora told Ushio, use your spear to defeat him. Ushio said, the spear is in the bag, I don't have it. Tora said, summon it here. Ushio tried summoning the spear, and it came to him, but he didn't know how to attack the monster from inside the plane. The man they saw earlier went to the cockpit and took over flying the plane to protect you. You asked Ushio, why do you look so different? What's that thing outside? Ushio replied, I'll explain later. Then he told Tora to go outside and attack the monster. When Fusuma saw Tora, he said, Nagato Bimaru, still alive? Tora replied, because of you, I'm in trouble now, and attacked him with fire, causing his arms to start burning. The pilot regained some control of the plane. You asked Ushio, is that monster the one who killed my father? Ushio said, yes, that's what happened. She then went to the pilot and found him injured. He said, I have to call for backup from the air defense force right away. But the authorities said they didn't detect any monster on the radar, so they wouldn't help until it was confirmed. The pilot was frustrated because they weren't going to save them. Ushio came and said, we might be able to defeat the monster using heavy fire. But every time Tora hit the monster with fire, it would regenerate. The pilot told Ushio, the air defense force could hit it with a missile, but the problem is, they can't lock onto it since it's not appearing on the radar. That's why they won't come. Tora came down to Ushio and said, you have the spear that can kill Fusuma. Remember how it passed through Reiko and didn't hurt her? You can kill it from here. Ushio took the spear and told Tora, you go attack it first and hold it down, then I'll finish it off with the spear after you. As soon as Tora grabbed it, Ushio stabbed Fusuma with the beast spear from inside the plane. At that moment, the monster showed up on the radar, and the air defense force sent 2 jets to help. But the monster started regaining strength and latched tightly onto the plane. The pilot said, you'll only kill this monster if you hit it with a huge amount of fire from a missile. The backup team told them, we can't fire while it's clinging to the plane, you'll die. Ushio told Tora, take me to the top of the plane so I can slice the monster in half. Tora carried him up and said, you know you could die if you fall? Ushio replied, don't worry. As he was about to attack with Tora, the monster grabbed them and tied them up. The beast spear moved and freed Ushio, who then cut off the monster's legs, forcing it to release the plane. The fighter jets locked onto it and launched a missile, killing the monster with the heavy fire. While dying, the monster said, since the spear has appeared, that means Hakumen no Mono is about to rise. Then the plane landed safely. You apologized to the pilot, and Ushio and Tora continued their journey. While Ushio and Tora were walking, there were two watching them from afar, Raishin and Kaguri. Suddenly, they saw a wind vortex tearing through people. Tora said to Ushio, that's not a vortex, that's the monster Kamaitashi. Suddenly, the monster appeared in the form of a wolf and attacked Ushio. Ushio countered with the beast spear and was about to kill it when Kaguri said, wait, I need to tell you something. Then Ushio went with them to their home. Raishin told him, as the wielder of the beast spear, we're asking you for a favor. Ushio asked, what is it? Raishin said, we're monsters called Kamaitashi, and we want you to kill our brother Juro, whose only goal now is to kill and destroy. Ushio said, are you crazy? You want me to kill your own brother? I'm not some hired killer. I made a mistake coming with you. Raishin said, if we leave Juro alone, he'll keep killing humans. Ushio decided to hear them out. Kaguri took Tora outside and told him, only the spear wielder should hear this, not you. Tora asked her, I always thought Kamaitashi lived in the south. What brought you here? She got angry and said, humans made us leave our home. Meanwhile, Raishin began telling Ushio their story. He said, the Kamaitashi live in groups of 3. My 2 siblings and I live together peacefully without harming humans. We have a rule, never kill a human without a clear reason. If we fight humans, the Kamaitashi will go extinct. That's why anyone who breaks this rule must be punished. But my brother Juro now kills any human he sees. He must be punished. That's why we want you to use the beast spear to kill him. Tora asked Kaguri, where is your brother Juro? She said, none of your business. Tora replied, your brother doesn't matter to me. Kaguri summoned a blade from her hand and said, you insulted my brother, so now you must be punished. Tora sensed something strange and looked behind him to see what it was. Kaguri cut off his arm. Suddenly, Ushio heard a strange sound and the wall burst open. Juro had arrived. He told his brother Raishin, I've decided I'll kill every human I come across. I won't spare anyone. I'll kill and kill and kill until they're all gone. Raishin said, have you forgotten the Kamaitashi rule? Juro replied, I don't care about your rule. Humans drove us out of our land and made us homeless. I'm even tired of the human form we're forced to wear. He then removed his human mask and revealed his true wolf form. He said, I'll kill any human I see. Juro looked at Ushio and saw the beast spear, then told his brother, so this is what you do to me, Raishin? You bring the spear wielder to kill me? He got furious and attacked Ushio, slammed him to the ground, and was about to kill him with his blade. Tora arrived at the last second and threw his severed arm at Juro. Juro ran off, and Tora said to Ushio, we're wasting our time, let's get out of here. But Ushio didn't answer. Tora said, are you stupid? No one dies from a scratch like that. Raishin said, there's actually a way to heal him. Tora asked, what is it? Kaguri said, Kamaitashi wounds can only be healed with my medicine. She applied the medicine, and Ushio woke up and started running to confront Juro. He stepped on Tora's severed arm, got startled, and apologized. Tora said, it's nothing. I'll reattach it later. Ushio tied Tora's arm back in place. Raishin then told them, we have to hurry to the construction site. Juro wants revenge on them. Kaguri said, it's all because of humans. We used to live in peace, and Juro was kind and didn't kill anyone, until humans took our home to build a golf course. We kept moving from place to place, with no home. That's when my brother swore he'd destroy all humans. When they reached the construction site, Juro saw them and got furious because he thought they came to kill him. He attacked Ushio. His siblings told him, let's go live together in a new place. He said, humans will drive us out again. Ushio got angry and said, if we leave him, he'll keep killing people. I have to stop him. He attacked Juro and injured him. Juro then caused rocks from the cliff above to fall on them and was happy they died under the rocks. But Tora and Ushio lifted the rock off them. Ushio told Tora, help Raishin and Kaguri under the bus before the leaking fuel explodes. Juro attacked Ushio to kill him, but Tora threw a rock at him and saved him. Ushio cried because he felt humans wronged Jiro and stole his home. While they were talking, the workers arrived. One of them threw a rock at Jiro. Jiro got mad, and the human got scared and dropped his cigarette. The fuel caught fire. Tora told Jiro, "Come help me lift the bus," but they couldn't lift it. Ushio asked the workers to help, and together they lifted the bus and saved Raishin and Kagari before the whole place exploded. Ushio promised Jiro that he would help them find a new place to live and that he'd make sure everyone knew it was their home so no one would take it from them again. Jiro laughed and said, "I agree." But then he betrayed Ushio, and the spear struck him at the last moment. Ushio asked, "Why did you do that?" and Jiro died. His siblings cried over him, and he said goodbye to them before he passed. Then we see the priests returning disappointed after their failure. Their leader was furious at them for the problems they caused and said, "I know we trained 4 successors for the spear, but since the spear chose Ushio, we have to protect him. You've angered the head priestess with your actions. She told me the spear chooses its wielder. We have no say in that matter. That's why we all have to keep watch over Ushio because he is the beast wielder. We'll leave the monster with him alone and won't seal it." On the other side, a girl named Saya was coming home late. Her father and grandmother asked, "Why are you late?" Then her father told her, "Go inside and finish your tasks." As they walked, he said, "This house provides you shelter and a safe life. Without it, you'd be on the streets. You should be grateful." They reached her room, and her grandmother told her, "Go check what the monster wants and take care of it." Saya then entered a room where there was a monster in the form of a girl named Omamori. Saya said, "Let's play ball." Omamori replied, "I want to leave this place." Saya said, "You can't, we have to stay here." Omamori told her, "One day, a human and a monster will come and set us free." Meanwhile, Ushio and Tora were walking down the street when they saw Saya walking in front of them. A car was about to hit her, but Ushio saved her. She was unconscious. A woman told him, "That's Saya from the Takatori family," and pointed to their mansion, explaining that the family owns enormous wealth. Ushio decided to take her home. On the way, Saya woke up and apologized, saying she sometimes faints out of nowhere. Tora said, "I feel like she's not an ordinary girl." Saya replied, "I'm from the white-haired bloodline. We can see yokai and interact with them. I can see Tora right now." Ushio brought her to her house, where her father was talking to his assistants about the state of his wealth. They told him, "You control most of the region's fortune," and he was pleased. He knew that the monster Omamori, when sealed inside a house, causes it to prosper. Then he entered the house and scolded Saya, saying every time she leaves, she faints, and someone has to bring her back. He ordered her not to leave the house again, or she might die. Then he saw Ushio and asked, "Who's this?" The grandmother said, "He's the one who brought Saya home." The father said, "Take your money and leave." Saya said, "No, let him stay a while so I can talk to him." The father said, "Fine." Half an hour, then he leaves. Before Ushio left, the father noticed the spear with him and asked, "What's that?" Ushio replied, "None of your business." After the father and grandmother left, Ushio asked Saya, "What do you want from me?" She told him the story of her mother, who had once said the white-haired bloodline's role is to mediate between humans and yokai. But her mother was used to make this house rich and died because of it. They then brought Saya to take her place, to preserve the family's fortune. The idea is that a yokai named Omamori lives in this house. Any home she's sealed and becomes a home of wealth, and if she leaves, that home is destined for poverty and ruin. Saya is responsible for mediating between her and the humans. She took Ushio and Tora to Omamori, who was sealed inside the house by a very strong barrier that was difficult to destroy. Omamori was surprised to see Nagadobimaru, Tora's old name, and said, "I've been trapped here for a long time, and I want to get out. Please destroy this barrier with the beast spear you have." Tora told her, "You realize if this barrier is broken, the house will explode and you'll die." She replied, "That's fine." Saya said, "No, I won't let you die." Meanwhile, Saya's father was extremely angry and said, "The boy who was here had a spear." He remembered how long ago Omamori told him, "One day, a boy with a spear will come, free me, and destroy the Takatori fortune." He grabbed a sword, burning with rage, and went after Ushio. Holding his sword, he said, "I was sure that was the spear," and attacked Ushio. Omamori told Ushio, "Destroy the barrier." Saya shouted, "No, I don't want you to die." Ushio and her father started fighting. Tora said, "I'll try to destroy the barrier," but failed. Ushio said, "I'll destroy it." Saya stood in front of him and said, "No, I won't let Omamori die." Then the guards came and grabbed Ushio. The father tried to kill Ushio, but Tora cut his sword and entered the barrier, saying to Ushio, "I'll protect Omamori. You destroy the barrier now." Ushio told Saya, "Step away from the barrier." She hesitated, but finally stepped aside and let Ushio destroy it. Ushio destroyed the barrier, and the entire place exploded. The house was destroyed. Ushio and Tora said goodbye to Saya and continued on their journey to find Ushio's mother. At Mayuko's house, her father bought an antique mirror and told his daughter how much effort it took to get such a valuable piece. When Mayuko got close to it, she felt a strange sensation. Later, Asako arrived at their house to go to school with her. Mayuko's mother told Asako to stay with her daughter while they were away on a trip. Then Asako and Mayuko went to school and agreed to buy pizza and snacks at night. They started talking about how Ushio had been absent from school for a long time. When they arrived at school, Mayuko said to Asako, "Let's pass by Ushio's house to see why he's been missing." As soon as they got there, Ushio's father came out. They asked why Ushio had been missing school. He told them, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. I sent him to run an errand for a relative, and then left." Meanwhile, Ushio was sneezing and said, "Someone must be talking about me." Then Kaguri told him to come in and eat. After he finished eating, Raishin said, "Are you really going to leave us?" Ushio replied, "I'm already very late. I need to get to Hokkaido." Then he stepped outside and said, "I wonder how my friends are doing." He looked into the water and saw it moving. Suddenly, he saw Asako holding the old mirror and looking terrified. Ushio was startled and said, "Where's Mayuko?" Then the image disappeared. Ushio told them what he saw and asked how he could hear the voices of things appearing in the water. Raishin said, "You mean the water mirror," then took them to a cave and told them a mirror expert lived there and might have answers. They called out, and the old mirror expert appeared. He felt something strange, and as soon as he saw the beast spear with Ushio, he panicked and ran away. They told him Ushio was kind and didn't kill anyone. He replied, "The beast spear was made to kill yokai." Tora grabbed him and said, "Listen, old man, we came from far away, and now you're walking away." The mirror expert said, "Even Nagato Bimaru is here." They told him they wanted to know what happened when Asako appeared in the water mirror. He agreed to help and looked into the past to find out what happened. He told them it was near sunset when Asako and Mayuko entered Mayuko's house with food. Asako asked about the mirror. Mayuko said her father bought it as an antique piece. Then she asked Asako, "Did you move the mirror?" Asako said, "No." Mayuko said, "I remember that face used to face the other way." While they were talking, they felt a tremor in the room. They realized it was coming from the mirror. Suddenly, a monster emerged from it, grabbed Mayuko, and disappeared. Asako grabbed the mirror in fear, and that was what Ushio had seen. The mirror expert told them the one behind it was the mirror demon. Ushio grabbed the spear and asked how to save them. The expert said, "I'll use my mirror to send you there. But before you go, you must know this. My power lasts only as long as it takes for water to boil. You must return before that time ends. If not, you'll be trapped inside my mirror forever. That's why you have to finish the monster in a single strike." Ushio entered quickly, and Tora said, "I'm coming with you." Inside the mirror, they saw a gate that led them to the room where Asako was. Ushio was in his samurai form, so she didn't recognize him. He told her, "Put down the mirror in your hand so I can save your friend." As soon as she placed it down, Ushio and Tora entered the mirror, and Asako followed them. Ushio asked, "Why did you come?" She said, "I have to save my friend." Tora told Ushio, "You must defeat it in one blow so we don't get trapped in the mirror." As soon as they saw the mirror demon, it attacked and pinned them down. But Tora managed to free them. Then Tora ran with Ushio, and Ushio managed to defeat the demon with a single strike before time ran out. Then we see a lot of yokai feeling frustrated, saying, "The son of the woman we all hate now has the beast spear, the very weapon made to destroy yokai." They all vowed to kill him and get rid of him. Meanwhile, Ushio was holding the comb he got from his father. Kaguri asked him, "Whose comb is that?" Ushio said, "It's my mom's." After that, he said goodbye to Raishin and Kaguri to go travel and find his mother. He got on the bus with Tora. Suddenly, Tora sensed yokai around, and even the spear started to hum. Tora said, "There are a lot of yokai here, and they all hate you." Ushio sat thinking, "Where are they? And why do they hate me so much?" Suddenly, a monster attacked the bus, and the bus crashed. Ushio and Tora jumped out before it hit the ground. Then more yokai came after them. Ushio and Tora tried to fight them all, but they were too many, so they had to run away quickly. Tora told him, "Be careful. You've killed a lot of yokai with that spear. They might be out for revenge." While they were running, a monster grabbed Ushio's leg and said, I've finally caught the son of that cursed woman. Then all the yokai filled the area and managed to hold Ushio down. But the spear moved on its own, killed the yokai holding Ushio, and ran off carrying him away. Then the biggest of the monsters appeared, named Hidetsuki. He said to Tora, well, Nagato Bimuru. Last time I saw you was 500 years ago, and now here you are helping a human and killing yokai with him? Tora replied, my name's not Nagato Bimuru anymore, it's Tora. And why are all the yokai after Ushio? What happened while I was gone? Hidetsuki said, I'll tell you what happened. Meanwhile, the spear took Ushio to a water spring, where he met a yokai named Kappa, who started treating his wounds. Ushio asked him, why do the yokai want to kill me? Kappa told him, they're not after you just because you killed some of them. They're after you because of your mother. Ushio was shocked and asked, why is my mom the reason? Kappa said, a long time ago, an evil yokai named Hakumen no Mono appeared. We wanted to kill him no matter what. But then a human woman protected him. That's why we hate her and want to kill her. The story began when a little girl came from China, but she wasn't a girl. She was an extremely powerful yokai who spread terror and destruction among humans. Even yokai weren't safe from him. His main goal was to kill yokai and keep humans alive in a state of despair, from which he drew his power. That yokai's name was Hakumen no Mono. That's why all the yokai united to kill him. But he was too strong, we couldn't beat him. In the end, Hakumen escaped to regain his strength, so we sent a group of yokai to kill him before he recovered. During their talk, the spear started to hum again. Kappa said, there's a village nearby, you can hide there from the yokai. Ushio quickly headed toward it. Meanwhile, Hidetsuki told Tora, when Hakumen no Mono came here, you and I faced him with all our strength. Tora said, yeah, and even then he lost to us and ran away. Hidetsuki said, after that, we searched for him everywhere until we finally found him. We attacked with everything we had, but what stopped us was the strong barrier a woman made. Tora said, there's no way that woman was Ushio's mom. Humans don't live 1,000 years. Hidetsuki said, there's always another one who takes over for the previous one. Ushio's mother is the current one. That's why we're going to kill Ushio. Tora shouted, I'll be the one to eat Ushio. Hidetsuki said, but you haven't even tried. What happened to you, Nagato Bimuru? You used to be so strong back in the day. Tora said, fine, go kill him yourself, but be careful. The beast spear is powerful. Hidetsuki replied, that's the old friend I remember, and then left to go kill Ushio. Ushio kept running until the yokai surrounded him. He saw an old man who was terrified, so Ushio picked him up and ran toward the village. Then Tora stayed behind, waiting to see what would happen to Ushio, who had arrived at the village and was happily eating bread and milk in the old man's shop, the man who saved him. While he was sitting with the old man, yokai began to gather. When he stepped outside, a yokai grabbed him hard, but he managed to kill it with the beast spear. After that, the yokai surrounded him. He said, I have to leave or the villagers will be in danger, and ran away while the yokai chased him. The yokai caught up, attacked him, and knocked him to the ground. They were about to kill him when Raishin and Kaguri arrived just in time and started fighting the yokai to protect Ushio. Then Hidetsuki appeared to kill Ushio. Raishin and Kaguri attacked the yokai to sacrifice themselves for Ushio. Ushio was scared they would die, but Tora arrived at the battlefield and saved them all. Hidetsuki said, so you betrayed me, Nagato Bimuru? Tora replied, no one's going to touch Ushio except me. Anyone who wants him has to go through me first. He ran off carrying them and dropped them in a foggy place. Suddenly, Ushio found himself alone, in front of a house with a door opening and someone saying, come in. He walked until he reached a place where there was an old yokai and Omamori next to him. Ushio asked, what are you doing here? She replied, we brought you here because the leader of the yokai wants to tell you something. The yokai leader said, I'll answer all your questions. Ushio asked, why are the yokai attacking me? The leader said, because they hate your mother. She protects the yokai's greatest enemy with a powerful barrier. That enemy is a powerful yokai with 9 tails named Hakumen no Mono. All yokai joined forces and fought him for 200 years, and Nagato Bimuru fought bravely. After a long battle, Hakumen no Mono was injured and escaped to recover. When we chased him to finish him off, we found him hiding behind a strong barrier made by a woman. Ushio asked, that woman, is it my mom? He replied, no, that was 1,000 years ago. It wasn't your mother. But after a certain time, someone new always comes to protect the barrier. Right now, the one protecting it is your mother. Her name is Hizaki. Ushio said, so that's why the yokai hate me. Then he asked, but why is my mother protecting Hakumen no Mono? The leader replied, we don't know, but you might be the one who can find out. Omamori told me you're a trustworthy human. The leader said, from now on, no yokai will attack you until you find out the reason your mother is protecting Hakumen no Mano. Then the leader left to inform the yokai not to attack Ushio. He turned to Ushio and said, by the way, this isn't the first time we've met. Look beside you. Ushio saw the same bread and milk the old man had given him. It was the yokai leader all along. He stepped outside to where Hidetsuki was and said, stop the attack now. Hidetsuki said, no, I must kill them. Tora said, then I'm ready to fight you. The yokai leader told Hidetsuki, fine. If you beat Nagato-Bimuru, do what you want. But if Nagato-Bimuru wins, you obey me and never attack Ushio again. The battle between Tora and Hidetsuki began. Hidetsuki knocked Tora to the ground and started pounding him. He bound Tora with snakes, pulled him in, and beat him. Tora released fire from his mouth, then electrocuted Hidetsuki and kept attacking him. Finally, he finished him off and threw him to the ground. The yokai leader declared Tora the winner, which meant the yokai wouldn't kill Ushio anymore. Ushio and Tora continued their journey to find Ushio's mother. We found out Ushio and Tora traveled to find Ushio's mother and arrived in Hokkaido. But since it was nighttime, they agreed to sleep there for the night and head to Asahikawa in the morning. They walked together, but suddenly the fog thickened, and they felt lost. They looked ahead and saw a girl. Then Ushio sensed a monster attacking from behind, but the girl attacked the monster using 2 combs and destroyed it. Ushio was stunned and asked, what was that monster? She replied, it was a monster sent by Hakumen no Mano to take the beast spear from you. Then she asked, are you Atsuki? He said, yes. She punched him and said, a child is wielding the spear? Do you realize what you're holding? Do you know how much effort we put into preparing the spear's wielders? Ushio said, I don't understand anything. She replied, I was trained along with 3 others to become a beast spear wielder. I'm one of the candidates. My name is Hinoa. Meanwhile, the priests informed the head priestess Oyakomi that all 4 beast spear successors had disappeared. The head priestess said, it's probably because of Ushio. They resent him for taking the spear even though they trained so hard for it. That's why they're probably out searching for him, to see if he deserves it or not. Hinoa told Ushio, hand me the spear now. He asked, why? She said, you're too weak. Every time you fought yokai, it was the spear that saved you. But I've trained hard and gained experience using it. And the biggest mistake you made is not killing the monster that the spear was originally sealing. Ushio was speechless. She grabbed the spear and pulled it from him. Ushio let go. As soon as she took it, she said, finally, the legendary spear is in my hands. Then she told Ushio, let me show you the results of my martial arts and intense training. She attacked Ushio and threw him to the ground, saying, this is what you get for stealing the spear from us. She ran off with the spear, and Ushio sat on the ground, confused. Suddenly, he saw an army of yokai from Hakumen no Mano approaching. But they didn't attack him, they kept going. Ushio realized they were chasing the beast spear. He remembered how the spear had saved him many times and decided to follow the yokai. The yokai merged together into a giant monster. Hinoa said, now that I have the beast spear, I'll destroy you all. She held the spear, waiting for it to power her up, but it stayed the same. She didn't get any power. The monster attacked and knocked her down. She stood frozen in front of the monster, and the spear didn't respond. The monster wrapped her in snakes and lunged to kill her. But Ushio arrived at the last second, grabbed the spear, and it gave him power. Ushio prepared to fight. He charged the monster, striking repeatedly until it threw him far away. Ushio got back up and attacked again. The monster grabbed him with its arms. Tora quickly came and freed him, then attacked the monster. Ushio took the spear, charged again, and sliced the monster in half. The yokai of Hakumen no Mano fled. Ushio went to Hinoa and said, I need to go to Asahikawa to see my mother. That's why I'll be taking the spear with me. She replied, I'll let you take it this time. But know this, the other successors are probably looking for you right now. Then she walked away. The next day, Ushio was preparing to continue his journey. He bumped into someone on a motorcycle named Nagar. Nagar told him, watch where you're going, you might get hurt. Ushio said, yeah, and was fascinated by Nagare's bike. Then he told him he was in a hurry and walked off with Tora to continue the journey. Tora sensed someone watching them. He looked back and saw Nagar holding a spear and waiting for Tora. Tora approached him to fight, and Ushio had no idea where Tora had gone. Ushio got on a bus that had been taken over by Hakumen no Mano's yokai who wanted to kill him. Then Tora stood in front of Nagar, ready to fight. Nagar said, I'm one of the chosen successors of the beast spear, but I'm more interested in you than the spear. Tora replied, I'll show you what I can do, and attacked him. The two started fighting fiercely. Tora tried to electrocute him, but Nagar blocked it with his spear. Tora then shot fire at him, but Nagar jumped into the air and threw a nail that pinned Tora's arm. Tora couldn't move. Nagar said, "Answer me now, why didn't you kill Ushio?" Tora stood there, fuming with anger, and charged at Nagar. Nagar threw more nails to pin his leg and stepped on it. Tora screamed in pain, unable to move. Nagar said, "I found out that in all your fights with Ushio, you didn't kill anyone. You even helped humans. I want to know why. Lady Oyakomi told me you were changing, but I didn't believe it." Tora laughed and suddenly started tearing off his limbs to escape. He charged at Nagar, who tried to run. Tora destroyed his weapon and defeated him. After that, Tora reattached his limbs. Nagar asked, "Why do you walk with Ushio and never kill him?" Tora said, "I don't know the reason, but I enjoy being with him." Then he walked away, leaving Nagar stunned. Tora ran at full speed to catch up with Ushio's bus. Suddenly, the spear hummed. Ushio knew a yokai was near. And indeed, Hakumen no Mono's yokai began devouring the bus driver. Ushio quickly saved him. Nagar caught up with Tora and said, "Looks like the yokai took over the bus," then raced on his motorcycle to rescue the passengers. Meanwhile, the yokai had taken control of the bus, which was swerving left and right. The passengers were panicking, and Ushio didn't know what to do, until Nagar and Tora arrived. Nagar quickly sliced off the front and back of the bus, and Tora threw all the passengers out. Nagar created a barrier to catch them. They saved the passengers, but the bus was still moving and could crush them. Ushio was bound by the yokai and couldn't escape. Suddenly, Ushio got angry, the spear powered up. Ushio sliced through the bus, raised the spear high, and struck down to stop it. In the end, the yokai were killed, and the bus was destroyed. Ushio looked at the passengers and thought, "I'm the reason they went through this," and ran away, upset. Tora and Nagar caught up with him. Tora said, "This guy here is also a beast spear successor." Nagar said, "Let me give you a ride to Asahikawa." Ushio got on behind him, and they all rode off together. On the way, they encountered a group of bikers. Ushio asked Nagar, "Who are they?" Nagar replied, "During the selection of successors, some didn't make it. These are some of them. The one in front is named June." June asked Nagar, "Have you seen my brother?" Nagar told Ushio, her older brother was also one of the candidates. "His name is Satoru, skilled, strong, and smart. Out of the four of us, he was the closest to being chosen." June said, "Ever since he found out Ushio got the spear, he changed completely and disappeared for 2 weeks." While they were talking, they sensed June's brother nearby. Tora said to Ushio, "Be careful. Whoever's here feels really strong." Suddenly, a huge yokai appeared, and Satoru, June's brother, showed up next to it. He said, "I'm Satoru, one of the candidates for the beast spear," and ordered the yokai to attack Ushio. Ushio couldn't block the attack. The yokai swallowed him and began draining his energy. June shouted, "Stop it." But Satoru said, "I'll destroy the beast spear wielder now." Nagar drew his spear and attacked, but Satoru said, "You're too weak," and kicked him away. Others tried to stop Satoru, but his yokai caught them all. Tora struck the monster and saved Ushio. Ushio grabbed the spear, rushed the monster, and killed it. Then he stood before Satoru and said, "I have to stop you now." June begged her brother to stop, but Satoru hit her. Suddenly, his form started to change. He clutched his head and screamed because the yokai controlling him hadn't fully taken over yet. Satoru promised to kill Ushio and ran away. Tora said, "A yokai has taken over his body." And we saw Satoru struggling, trying to resist the yokai inside him, but it was no use. Nagar, Ushio, June, and the others set out to save Satoru. On the way, they stopped at a rest area. Ushio stood by a mirror and called out to the old mirror expert they'd met before. The mirror master appeared. Ushio told him, "I want to speak to the yokai leader Tono. I need to know how to remove a yokai from a human body." Tono appeared and said, "There's no way to remove a yokai from a human's head from the outside, but you can from the inside. The only way to save him is to enter his body and kill the yokai inside. And as you know, humans can't enter another's body. So to do that, you must become a yokai yourself." Ushio asked, "How?" Tono said, "Through the beast spear. If you unleash its immense power, the spear will possess your body and turn you into a true yokai." Then he left, saying, "Think carefully, because if you do this, you'll never return to being human." Later, they all sat around the fire. Tora told Ushio, "Forget what Tono said. Don't even think about it." June told them a story about how a yokai once attacked her and her brother Satoru saved her, but he looked so scary that she ran away. Suddenly, Satoru appeared with 2 yokai insects. He chained up Tora and threw the spear away from Ushio. June grabbed the spear and shouted to her brother, "You have to fight the yokai inside you." Ushio took the spear, and Tora broke the chains and killed the insects. When Satoru saw his sister crying, he remembered the old days and returned to his senses. He stepped back and told them, "I didn't mean to do this," apologized to everyone, and then threw himself off the cliff. Then Ushio quickly threw his spear and caught Satoru at the last second. His sister sat crying over what had become of her brother, who had been taken over by yokai. Ushio told Nagar, "I've made up my mind, I'm going into Satoru's body and killing the yokai inside him." Nagar said, "You're an idiot. If you do that, you'll never be human again." Ushio replied, "I know, but I have to save Satoru so he can go back to his sister June." Nagar grabbed his spear and said, "I won't let you go," and attacked. But Ushio didn't move. Nagar stepped aside and said, "Do what you want." Then the mirror expert appeared and said, "Since you're going inside him, I'll send someone who knows the way inside Satoru." A green yokai named Izuna showed up and said, "Come on, follow me," and ran off. Tora said to Ushio, "You know you won't be human anymore." Ushio replied, "I've made my decision," and apologized, saying Tora wouldn't get to eat him. He walked away from Tora, who then followed him and said, "No one else is going to eat you. I'm coming with you. And the moment you start turning into a monster, I'll eat you right away." The 3 of them set off to enter Satoru's body, and they succeeded. Inside, Izuna said, "We need to get to the brain." Monsters attacked, and Ushio killed them. When they reached the heart, a monster grabbed Izuna using blood vessels, and Satoru's body began to tremble. They all held him down. June cried and said, "What are you doing to my brother?" Nagar replied, "Don't worry, Ushio will save him." Ushio is a boy who could have lived a happy life, but he gave it up to save people from yokai and to kill Hakumen no Mano. And now he's giving up his life to save your brother. Meanwhile, Ushio, Tora, and Izuna were all bound by the blood vessels. Tora tried to electrocute them to break free, but Izuna stopped him, saying it would kill Satoru. Ushio threw his spear at the monster, attacked it, and killed one of the yokai inside Satoru's body. But that's when Ushio began turning into a yokai himself. Tora thought, "Is this the moment he turns into a monster? I should eat him now." But Ushio shouted, "Let's keep going to the brain." Tora said to himself, "Not yet," and they all ran along the spine to reach the brain. On the way, they encountered many monsters. Ushio tried to kill them but got caught. Satoru woke up, and the yokai made him attack June and Nagar. Ushio, furious, said, "I have to save him," and killed all the monsters in his way. But the more he fought, the more he transformed into a monster. Izuna warned, "That's enough, you'll fully turn." But Ushio replied, "We must keep going," and looked toward the brain. There, the monster controlling the brain, Shibakoma, attacked. Ushio fought it with everything he had. Shibakoma asked, "Why do you want to kill Hakumen no Mano with the beast spear?" Ushio answered, "I don't want to kill anyone. You're the ones attacking me. I just want to find out my mother's secret. I don't even know who Hakumen is or what he looks like." Shibakoma laughed and said, "Then I'll show you his face one last time before you die." He revealed Hakumen's form, with 9 tails, filled with hatred and the will to destroy all living things. Ushio's body weakened. He couldn't keep fighting. Shibakoma lunged at him, but Izuna saved him at the last moment. Ushio held Izuna, upset that he hurt himself to protect him. Angry, Ushio stood and faced Shibakoma. He promised to kill Hakumen for all the killing he caused and charged. Shibakoma tried to run, but Izuna held him down, determined to stop him even if it meant dying. Ushio panicked and decided to kill Shibakoma himself to save Izuna. He succeeded. He killed Shibakoma, saved Izuna, and rescued Satoru, who returned to consciousness. His sister was overjoyed to see him back. But the problem was that Ushio, Tora, and Izuna were now trapped inside Satoru's body. When Satoru learned that Ushio had sacrificed himself to save him and was now stuck inside his body, he wept. And from his first tear, Ushio and Tora were released with it. Nagar was thrilled that Ushio returned and was extremely happy. But as they talked, the spear emitted a hum, and Ushio screamed in pain. He had turned into a yokai. Meanwhile, the priests were gathered with the head priestess. During their discussion, J-May from the organization entered and told them that the beast spear wielder was turning into a monster. The head priestess said, "Anyone who turns into a monster never returns." She asked, "What can we do?" J-May said, "We can bring him back using the comb Ushio has. All the people Ushio saved must comb his hair with it." She said, I'll go gather everyone Ushio saved, and you summon his father. Ushio's father arrived at that very moment. J-Mei went to Yu, then to Saya, then to Reiko, and finally to Asako and Mayuko. She told them that Ushio needed their help right now and that they had to comb his hair. They agreed to go and save him before he turned completely into a yokai. Meanwhile, Ushio had turned and lost control. He attacked Tora. They tried to restrain him, but he managed to escape. Nagar, Satoru, Jun, Tora, and Izuna all chased after him. On their way, they met Hinawa. She said, I knew this would happen. Ushio is heading toward the beast spear wielder's cave. We need to reach it before he does. On the other side, Ushio's father met the 5 girls and asked them to save his son, and they all agreed. Meanwhile, Ushio had lost control of his body and was running at full speed, killing anyone who stood in his way. Inside the monster's body, Ushio had no control and couldn't resist the spear that turned him into a monster, which was carrying him at full speed to the cave of the beast spear bearers. Hakumen no Mano took advantage of the situation and ordered his monsters to kill Ushio and destroy the beast spear. While Ushio was running, he saw someone hammering hot iron, blood dripping from his body, and fire coming from his mouth as he forged a spear. The man seemed full of sorrow and hatred toward Hakumen no Mano, and Ushio didn't know who this person was or why he hated Hakumen so much. Ushio's father arrived with the 5 girls to the place where Nagar, Satoru, and the others were, and they all prepared to save Ushio. Suddenly, Hakumen no Mano's monsters, which had been chasing Ushio, approached them. They realized the monsters were coming, so Ushio's father said, Satoru, Nagar, and I will create a barrier to stop them from reaching Ushio. Then he asked Hinawa and Jun to protect the 5 girls who would comb Ushio's hair, and finally told the 5 girls, you have the most important role. He then asked Tora to take the comb from Ushio, and they all set out to carry out the plan. Tora and Izuna went to get the comb from Ushio. They found his condition worse than before. Izuna tried to take it from his pocket, but Ushio grabbed him and stopped him. Eventually, Izuna managed to escape with the comb. Meanwhile, Nagar, Satoru, and Ushio's father created a large barrier to stop Hakumen's monsters from reaching Ushio. On the other side, Izuna was running at full speed with the comb while Ushio was chasing him. Reiko decided to be the first to save Ushio, so she ran toward him, and Izuna threw her the comb. She took it and ran toward Ushio, reminding him of the time he saved her when she tried to end her life. She managed to comb his hair just in time, but Ushio kept running wildly. Tora grabbed his hair and stopped him, but Ushio struck him with the beast spear and ran off again. Hinawa caught him using a barrier she had created and called for the next girl to come comb his hair. Saya took the comb from Reiko and went to Ushio, reminding him of how he saved her from the Takatori family. She also managed to comb his hair, but unfortunately, Ushio didn't change and remained a monster. He destroyed the barrier, looked at the comb, and realized it was the cause. He tried to attack Mayuko to take it, but Tora saved her just in time. Then Jun held Ushio with another barrier, and Yu decided to go comb his hair this time. She took the comb and ran at full speed across the bridge, and just before it collapsed, she managed to comb Ushio's hair. Ushio's body began to change slightly, but he ran away again. On the other side, Hakumen's monsters were about to destroy the barrier Ushio's father and the others had made, and they were doing their best to maintain it. Then you gave the comb to Mayuko, whose turn was next. The problem was, they didn't know where the cave was. At that moment, J-Mei arrived and pointed them toward the cave. Tora carried them all and followed J-Mei. He asked her why the spear had taken Ushio to that cave. J-Mei told him that inside the cave was a fragment of the beast spear's greatest enemy, Hakumen no Mano, and the spear's primary purpose was to destroy Hakumen. She then told Asako and Mayuko to get ready. The cave was just ahead. Mayuko took the comb and ran toward Ushio while saying goodbye to the others. Tora decided to go with her. They found Ushio standing still, and suddenly he sensed a part of Hakumen no Mano nearby and ran at full speed into the cave. Tora shot a lightning bolt at him, but Ushio blocked it and sent it back at them, then raised the spear to strike Mayuko. She blocked the blow with the comb but was thrown off and fell from the cliff. Asako saw her clinging to the rocks and shouted, "Hold on, I'll save you." But Mayuko couldn't hold on and fell. Tora caught her at the last moment. Ushio attacked them with the spear again, but Tora dodged him. In the final clash, Tora allowed Ushio to stab him with the spear, then grabbed him tightly, and Mayuko quickly combed his hair and threw the comb to Asako. Meanwhile, the barrier Ushio's father had created was about to collapse, and it did. Ushio's father, Satoru, and Nagar escaped with the monsters chasing them. On the other side, Ushio was still battling the monster inside him. Suddenly, Hakumen's monsters reached them. Izuna said, "That's it, we're finished." But a seal was activated, creating a barrier around them. It was Hayu who saved them and made the seal. He told them it would only last 3 minutes, so they had to bring Ushio back quickly. Inside, Ushio saw the person forging the spear again, fire coming from his mouth. The man said, "The spear has already taken over your body, you're not getting out of here." Then J-May appeared and said, "Stop what you're doing, brother." The man paused. Jay told him, "I understand your hatred for Hakumen, but you must stop." Ushio stood motionless while Asako looked at him. He said weakly, "Help me." Asako went to him, crying, and combed his hair. Suddenly, Ushio jumped up and stood in front of the cave containing a piece of Hakumen. He moved to enter it. Asako stopped him, but they both fell off the cliff. When Ushio hit the ground, he returned to normal, and Hayu's barrier broke. Hakumen's monsters attacked, but Ushio saved them at the last moment with the beast spear. Everyone was shocked that Ushio saved them. He and Tora then charged together to defeat Hakumen's monsters. Ushio asked Tora to strike lightning at the beast spear so it would reflect it at the monsters. Together, they defeated them. After the battle, Ushio and Tora landed on the ground. Ushio woke up and asked Tora, "Where are we, and what are we doing here?" Tora said, "You gotta be kidding me." Ushio replied, "I don't remember anything except being trapped inside the spear." He also remembered the man forging the spear and his sister J-May but didn't know who they were. Tora realized that Ushio wasn't aware of what had happened to him. Then Ushio said to Tora, "I'm going into the cave," and Tora grabbed him and said, "You're seriously going to leave me behind? I'm coming with you." And the two of them headed into the cave together. Ushio and Tora entered the cave and saw a house inside it. The spear emitted a ringing sound, and when Ushio held it, Tora said, "I forgot to tell you, they say this cave contains a part of Hakumen no Mono." So they both entered the house in front of them. Tora warned him, "Be careful, I feel an immense power here." They saw a monster's shape on the wall. Ushio asked, "Is this Hakumen?" Tora replied, "No, this is a dried up piece of him." Ushio approached it while trembling, and suddenly a hand came out toward him, but the spear blocked it. Ushio stood scared next to Tora. They felt someone behind them, and Tora threw fire at him. Then they heard someone laughing. Suddenly, a monster named Tokisaka appeared and said, "I'll answer everything you want to know." Tora told Ushio, "I don't know him." But Tokisaka replied, "But I know you well, Nagato Bimaru. Or would you prefer I call you Azafuse?" Ushio asked, "What are you trying to say?" The monster said, "Don't worry, I'll explain everything. I'm actually a monster who travels through time. And now I'll take you to the time when the beast spear was made." He began telling them that in the past, Hakumen no Mono tried to destroy Japan, but all the monsters and humans resisted his attack. Humans and monsters united until Hakumen realized he would lose. So he fled and scattered parts of his body. One of those parts is what you're seeing now. As for his real body, it's currently hidden. Ushio asked, "Then why didn't they kill him back then?" Tokisaka said, "At the time, humans and yokai felt they were missing something very important, the beast spear. They searched for it but couldn't find it. Then one human came up with an idea to find the beast spear by using Hakumen to locate the beast. A woman named Yuki said, 'Indeed, the beast spear will never fail to find Hakumen.' She continued, 'That's why I and the rest of my clan will seal Hakumen no Mono inside a barrier until you find the beast spear.' They asked her, 'Who are you?' She replied, 'I'm J-Mai, the sister of the beast spear's creator.' Ushio remembered seeing her when he was trapped inside the spear, but he still felt he didn't understand anything. So Tokisaka told him, 'I'll show you what happened with your own eyes.' Then he took them back in time to before the beast spear was created. Tokisaka said, 'We are now in China, 2,000 years ago, and the beast spear has disappeared because it hasn't been made yet.' Then he left them and said, 'You'll find out what happened yourselves.' Ushio and Tora collapsed to the ground. When they woke up, they saw a girl who looked like Mayuko. But when Ushio focused more, he realized she was J-Mai. Of course, she didn't recognize them because they had traveled back in time. Suddenly, Tora felt something strange. He sensed the area was full of monsters. Suddenly, the monsters appeared and attacked them, but Tora saved Ushio and electrocuted the monsters, killing them. After that, Ushio and Tora went to J-Mai's house. J-Mai's mother told Ushio, "Since the monsters appeared, it means Hakumen no Mono has returned." Ushio asked, "How do you know?" She replied, the king of China claims he saw Hakumen no Mono in the palace. That's why he ordered the execution of 80 people living there. Then the emperor decided to create a powerful sword to defeat Hakumen no Mono. The minister announced that whoever could make a sword strong enough to defeat Hakumen would receive a great fortune. Jae-mai said, "That's why my father is now trying to create that sword." While they were talking, her father arrived and started speaking with them. After a while, Jae-mai's brother, Jiryu, arrived. He was also training to create a powerful sword. The father and Jiryu agreed to cooperate to forge a strong sword for the king. They worked with all their might through the night. The next day, Ushio woke up, waiting to see if they would make the beast spear or not. Jae-mai's father came out very upset because every sword they made cracked, and he didn't know what to do. Then Jiryu went to his father and said, "During my travels, I heard about a method to make a strong sword using a woman's hair." So he asked for his mother's hair. The father took it and he and his son went to make the sword. They kept working for 4 days until they managed to make the desired sword, and everyone was happy. All the sword makers went to the king so he could choose one of them. Jiryu and his father were among them. Tora felt a strange energy in the place. The minister began by saying, "The person whose sword the king chooses will gain a prestigious position and great wealth." The king, however, was trembling with fear behind them. At that moment, Hakumen was disguised as a maid in the palace and was upset because they wanted to kill him. Suddenly, he took control of all the palace maids. The king was terrified of Hakumen no Mono. Suddenly, Hakumen's 9 tails appeared, and Hakumen took the form of a woman and vowed to kill the king. The guards gathered to protect the king. Hakumen mocked their weakness and revealed his true, giant form and killed all the guards. The swordsmiths and Jae-mai's father went to fight Hakumen with their swords, but they stood no chance against Hakumen's terrifying power. All their swords broke, even Jae-mai's father's sword, and Hakumen killed him. Then Hakumen looked at the rest of the humans and said, "Scream as much as you like. No one will save you from me." Ushio stood frozen in fear. Hakumen formed a ball of energy in his mouth. Ushio and Tora rushed to save Jae-mai's family, but unfortunately, Ushio couldn't save the mother. Hakumen killed her. Ushio stood in front of Hakumen to stop him. Hakumen said, "You dare stand before me? You must taste my punishment." Ushio stood before him, trembling, knowing he couldn't do anything against the giant power he was seeing. Hakumen fired an energy ball at Ushio, but Tora saved him at the last moment. Then Hakumen rose above the village and unleashed fire in every direction until the village was completely burned down and he left. Ushio returned to the house, and Jae-mai was unconscious beside him. Ushio was upset that he couldn't do anything to Hakumen. When she woke up, she asked, "Where's Dad and Mom?" But Ushio couldn't answer, so Jae-mai understood what happened and said, "Don't blame yourself. It's enough that you saved me." Ushio stepped outside the house, sad, and looked at the hut in front of them. He saw Jae-mai's brother, Jiryu, punching a rock with his fist until it bled. Ushio grabbed his arm to stop him. Jiryu was deeply saddened about his father, who tried his hardest to make a sword but failed. Ushio stopped him and told him, "There's still hope. You can still forge a blade strong enough to defeat Hakumen, and I'll help you." Jiryu cried and said, "There's only one way. I must throw someone into the furnace, then I'll be able to forge a strong sword." Ushio was terrified and said, "Are you insane? Get that idea out of your head." Jiryu said, "Of course I won't do that. I only have my sister Jae-mai left in this world." Then they turned and saw Jae-mai standing atop the furnace. She told her brother, "I want you to forge a strong sword." He said, "What are you saying? Get down, it's too hot up there." She replied, "I won't come down. You're the only one who can forge a sword to defeat Hakumen." Then she smiled at them and threw herself into the furnace. Jiryu and Ushio tried to catch her, but they couldn't. They both cried for her. After that, they sat together in the room in silence. Jiryu stood up and started preparing to forge the sword, burning with anger at Hakumen, wanting to destroy him. He kept hammering the sword while Ushio cried beside him for all the people who died. Jiryu continued forging the spear and told Ushio, "You're a good person, and I entrust my spear to you to destroy Hakumen." Then Jiryu died after entering the spear himself. And thus, the beast spear was forged from Jae-mai's blade and Jiryu's shaft, and Ushio became the one responsible for defeating Hakumen no Mono. When Tora saw the beast spear, he said, "This is my chance to destroy the spear." But the spear pierced through the ceiling and escaped. Then Jae-mai from the future came and said, "I think now you understand everything." Tokisaka also appeared. Jae-mai took them to finish the rest of the story. The spear flew through the sky to search for Hakumen, but it couldn't find him. "Sadly, my brother was killing every monster he encountered, so all monsters hated the spear and united to stop it. And they did stop it using the red cloth tied to it. As for Jaimai, she also searched for Hakumen no Mono until she found out that Hakumen went to Japan. She disguised herself as Yuki to face Hakumen no Mono. After the long battle where humans and yokai united to defeat Hakumen, he fled under the ocean. When Yuki chased him, she found that he had embedded himself in Japan's pillars and told her, "If you kill me, all of Japan will sink." Yuki froze, not knowing what to do. Later, the rest of the monsters arrived to kill Hakumen, so Yuki was forced to create a barrier to stop them to prevent Japan from sinking. That's why all the monsters thought she had betrayed them. Later, another woman named Mikado came to protect the barrier in Yuki's place. After a while, it was Ushio's mother, Hizaki, who took over. And until now, she's the one at the bottom of the ocean guarding the barrier. Then Jaimai and Tokisaka bid farewell to Ushio and told him to prepare well for the upcoming battle with Hakumen no Mono. Ushio took the spear and prepared with Tora for the decisive battle.